afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Estoria-Ta. We are here at the Saigon Cultura in Chamorro, where it is dedicated to preserving, promoting, and perpetuating our Chamorro heritage. Let's head inside and introduce you to more of our delegates.
Hi, my name is Mark Dell'Isola. I'm an artist and a delegate to Guam, and this is my studio here at Saigon Cultura Chamorro.
Dell'Isola has been painting for over 3 decades and has traveled the world showcasing his artwork, but Guam is home.
I've been painting for so long, so I went to school and got a degree in art, and then I worked as an architect for a couple of years, and I didn't like the office 9-to-5 work in Washington, D.C. So my uncle invited me to come to Guam. He says, I'll get you a studio. So I left my job and then came to Guam back in the early 80s and got my first studio at the Corn Building. And then ever since then, I've been hopping around. I lived in Palau for 20 years in the Rock Islands. Then I lived in Bali for 8 years. And then recently I've been in Japan, and then now I've been here at Saigon Cultura Chamorro, a part of this organization, and it's been great to be finally kind of rooted back into my culture here, because I've been using this as like a base to go to other places. But now I feel very comfortable here, and also this is the first kinds of cultural themes that I've been doing. Usually I do more science or nature or other stuff, but I think that it's kind of funny. You kind of go around in life. You start off out and then you kind of come around and you come back home again, and so I think that this will be my main studio. I still will travel a lot, but I will use this as my main studio.
This isn't Dell'Isola's first FestPac, but it will be the first time for Guam to be host.
My first FestPac was '96 in Western Samoa, and it was, I think that FestPac, Guam really shone as one of the main islands. I think that the group that was put together there was a very special group, and it was very good. I sold a painting to an Australian dealer, and so that was a good one. Then I went to New Caledonia, and that was interesting because first Western Samoa was Polynesia, then New Caledonia was Melanesia, and I got to see how life was there, the struggle that Kanakis have with the French. You know, it's kind of not as brutal as what we have to deal with here, you know, but just to see how other islands have to deal with the French, and we have the Americans here. So it's kind of like interesting. I got a kind of more of a political sense of how these islands and how close we are, you know, in our struggles and our aspirations as island people. And then, of course, I went to Palau for the art festival there, and that was almost like a home show for me, because I was living in Palau, and I had many paintings shown at the museum there, and it was great. And then I didn't go to any other festivals because I figured 3 was enough, you know. And then now we have this one coming to Guam, and I think it'll just be great just to show them our way of life. And I think that these other islands will be kind of blown away by our civilization here. You know, what you call, or so I think that they'll be very surprised to see how Western we are, how techno we are, how interconnected we are to the world, because I have never seen, besides Hawaii, you know, which that's a state, but it's also an island too. But in Hawaii, you don't see very many indigenous people in Hawaii, where here we are by far one of the leading islands in terms of modernity, if you want to call that, good or bad, you know, take it or leave it. So it's also good for the people on Guam to see how the other islands, how they really cherish their culture. Here on Guam, we have a problem here with our people. They don't take culture seriously. you know, they're looking off to America, where I think that this will really give them a touch and a sensibility when they see these other island people, their language, their culture, their dance, their song. And I think that I'm hoping it'll wake up the people here to look more inside them instead of looking out so much.
When you do attend Festpac, you will see a style of artwork by Dell'Isola you've never seen before.
So I'm doing these special paintings for the Festpac, and these are cultural paintings. It's something I usually don't do, and these paintings are from pottery designs from Lapita, the Lapita culture that first came here to Guam over a couple thousand years ago. So I've taken these pottery designs and I've made them into 3D images, pop art. And so I'm doing this especially for this festival, and this will be the 4th festival I've been to. And it's kind of cool that it's going to be here on Guam, because usually I have to pack these up and take them, you know, to other islands. But and then they can come to my studio and actually see where I work and where I live.
Dell'Isola adds Second Katuran Chamorro is one of the satellite venues for the Festival of Pacific Arts. Visitors will see artists in their element, creating and preserving the culture.
Here we actually make things, and so we'll be making things. We'll have they'll be open to the public for people to come up here. We're a satellite venue, so we're going to have other islands up here. So if people don't want to fight the crowds down at the Paseo, they can come up here and get a glimpse. And we're going to have visiting islands coming up here and doing demonstrations and chanting. So it's a little bit more of a mellow area up here than down there. So I'm really excited to showcase this painting. It's not finished yet. I still have to finish this side here, but this using these symbols from ancient pottery and then project them into 3D. So I wanted to do something very modern with something so old. So this is some of the oldest images that we have of Chamorro culture. They date back from digs from Saipan, Taga, and Retidian, 1500 BC. And these are designs that are incised into red clay, into pots, and then filled with lime, and so we have pieces of them. And so I've taken the pieces and then combined them, overlapped them. I took the circles and squashed them and stretched them a little bit, but I've incorporated them and made these into a 3D design. This side is water, and then you go to earth, and then you go to fire, and this represents the elements which we islanders deal with, you know. And so I'm really excited to showcase this to the people of Guam and to the people of the Pacific.
Stay tuned. Estoria-Ta continues from the Second Katuran Chamorro in just a moment.